Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. First things first, Merry Christmas. And now, let's get it on. Very, very surprising news. I didn't expect this to happen, and that is Maryinka to be liberated by the Russian troops before Avdiivka. If you remember, Avdiivka was, I think, surrounded, encircled by the Russians, and it's in bad shape. The Russians just announced 58 minutes ago that they liberated the city, the strategic city, or the town of settlement of Maryinka. I will show you a map and the Russian celebrations. Well, obviously the Ukrainians will say, and the Western, actually NATO will say, well, that's nothing, it's an unimportant location because we lost. But if it would have been reversed, obviously it would have been one of the winter's best successes, the most renowned successes. So let's get into this little article coming from Sputnik. And if they lie, then all right. Sputnik. Russian troops fully liberate strategic DPR settlement of Maryinka. 28 minutes ago, my friends. Updated 13 minutes ago, so the update still stands. So let's see where Maryinka is. Let's go to this little town of Bethlehem. So Maryinka is in Donetsk Oblast, which is down here. This is the Donetsk Oblast. And Maryinka is right here, south of Avdiivka. And I will show you why I thought that Avdiivka would be the one that's going to be liberated. So this is Avdiivka, which actually this is a little bit more like, let's say, southwest. And this is a little bit north. But anyway, Maryinka is right here. Let's see what the Russians say. This is on the 25th, so this is updated. Battles continue to rage in the city. Russian air defenses shot down several Ukrainian drones. So this is updated, but this seems to be the update of the update. All right, here it is. Let's read what these guys are saying. The heavy fortified settlement situated on the outskirts of the city of Donetsk was used by Ukrainian forces to indiscriminately shell the Donetsk People's Republic's capital for nearly 10 years before finally being liberated by Russian forces. So are they telling me that from this little thing, only from this little thing, they were hitting Donetsk right here, which is this town, right? Only from here and nothing from anywhere else? I don't know, they know best. So let's go back to these guys. This is what they try to say. But also, from Avdiivka, you could have shelled Donetsk, which is a big city here. Well, hey, they know better. Anyway, let's move on. The Russian army has completed the liberation of Maryinka, Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu has announced. And I'm quoting. In the course of offensive operations, assault detachments from the southern group of forces completely liberated the settlement of Maryinka, southwest of Donetsk, end quote. Shoigu told the Russian President Vladimir Putin in a briefing on Monday. And I'm quoting again, I would like to congratulate you. This is a success. Pass on the words of gratitude to all the staff and fighters who took part at different times and at different stages in the settlement's liberation, Putin replied. The president expressed confidence that control of the settlements will allow Russian forces to push Ukrainian positions further back from Donetsk. Like where? Where? So until they liberate, according to them, right? Donetsk, right here. Do you think they're going to stop here? Well, they will not stop here because they, according to the Russians, if the Ukrainians will be able to shell from this part right here, they will, according to the Russians, we have to push a buffer zone here as far as the range of the weapons, of the Western weapons supplied. So let's say the Western weapons have a range of 100 miles, let's say. They will have to, according to the Russians, we're going to designate or put here the border. And from here, 100 miles, there's going to be a buffer zone. That means under our occupation somehow, where there's going to be nothing. So you can't hit our country, Russia. If it's going to be 200 miles, they will have to go 200 miles. If it goes, I don't know, 500 miles, they go to Poland. Just kidding. Take it easy, my Polish friends. They will not come after you. If you just, take care of your little, how do you say it, passion. All right, let's move on. Shoigu concurred, saying Maryinka's liberation will also make it possible to more effectively protect the city of Donetsk from Ukrainian fire. The defense minister said that troops from the 150th Motorized Rifle Division distinguished themselves in the settlement's capture. During World War II, it was the 150th Division which famously captured the Reichstag building in Berlin. The liberation, there's all those pictures with those guys putting a flag on the fifth day. The liberation of this element naturally reduces the defense capabilities of the Ukrainian armed forces and gives us additional opportunities for further actions. End quote. Holy moly macaroni. Maryinka has been turned into a fortress over the past 9 years, connected by a network of underground passages with fortifications on almost every one of its streets, Shoigu said. Putin asked the defense minister to distribute medals to soldiers who distinguished themselves in the strategic settlement's liberation and instructed him to promote the commander overseeing its capture to the rank of major. Wow. And I'm quoting, by breaking into this fortification, which the enemy has factually been building up since 2014, our troops have the opportunity to enter a wider operational area. What are those guys talking about? Jesus Christ. Right. Dnipropetrovsk, if you go from here, from Avdiivka, that's what you got? I mean, really. Dnipropetrovsk go through this. Anyway, if they say so, they know best. But of course, this is a matter for local commanders and specialists from the General Staff and Defense Ministry. This is a separate issue, but in this case, this opportunity arises in this area. Ura! So it says Maryinka was first captured by Donbass militias seeking to break off from Kiev's control in April 2014, after the Ukrainian government, installed in the February 2014 coup, launched an anti-terrorist operation against them meant to crush the rebellion by force. Ukrainian forces, including paramilitaries from the infamous neo-Nazi Azov regiment, recaptured Maryinka in 2014 in August. From that time on, the strategic town, situated directly on the western outskirts of Donetsk city, was turned into a seemingly impenetrable fortress and used by Ukrainian forces to launch regular indiscriminate attacks against the militia-controlled city. Battles for the settlements by Donetsk People's Republic militias, now backed by the regular Russian military, now only, began immediately after the start of the Russian special military operation in February 2022. See, there is the evidence the Russians were not involved. The military only after February, okay? I mean, take them as face value. Images of the settlement today show that it has been turned into a pile of ruins, with most civilians living in the town leaving after 2014 and the rest evacuated after 2022. Well, my point with this little with the cities being destroyed is, why do you defend in the city, within the city limits? I know that strategically it provides you with some shelter, coverage, but still, what do you expect the Russians to do? Because if you put your military in a city, that's where the Russians are going to look for you. If you put them in a forest, they're going to go and get it in the forest. They can let you behind and go around it and keep going somewhere else. So I always say, if you really don't want the enemy to destroy one of your cities, now obviously it's up to you. You can fight from within the city limits, or you can say, you know what, this city I designated as an open city, like Paris was designated when the Germans Wehrmacht was coming, and say, well, no, don't destroy it, we're gonna just name it open city. So that's it. And the Germans respected that. Remember, they didn't blow it up, even though some people said, yeah, after the Germans started losing, they wanted to blow it up. Well, they wanted to do many things, as Churchill wanted to do many things with his little, not chemical weapons, no, anthrax. I know that's a story that we should not believe, but other things, which they did. If you look at Dresden, Hamburg, they flattened them, burned them. civilians, by the way. So again, you say, well, there were Germans fighting in there. What did they do? The Allies burned them. I suggest you read a book written by a British historian, which is not popular anymore. He was when he was not touching certain kind of issues or subjects, but he did. And then the Eye of Sauron focused on him and they destroyed him. But at least his books remained. So the name of that is Dresden, and his name is David I. Well, you is a British historian, or how we want to call the guy. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I'm waiting for the statement, the announcement that Avdiivka is surrounded and conquered or liberated, however you want to call it. Because this one was, it seems like it happened in a very short period of time. They were talking about Maryinka, they fight in the city, but nothing like Avdiivka, where they said, well, we surrounded it, it's all done, we destroyed their supply routes, they're almost blah blah blah. This guy, nothing, just all of a sudden, zap. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.